Wyatt came up with a basic concept. The design is not it's experimental, but it will be very useful.
Does this end kill Nazis?
Enthusiastically so.
I'm sure it will.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Terror Billy, aka BJ Blazkowicz, is back again, doing what he does best, doing what he loves, and that is killing Nazis by the truckload in the newest Wolfenstein, dubbed Wolfenstein II, the new Colossus, which came out this past Friday. I finally finished the game, played around 13 to 15 hours. And we got a lot of questions we need to answer here. Is it better than Wolfenstein: The New Order? Is it going to be appearing in my Game of the Year list? Top 10? Top 5? Number 1? Oh man, a lot of questions to be answered here. So get ready, grab a cold one, and we're going to talk about my review right now for Wolfenstein II: The New Colossus. What is going on, guys? Randall Thor 19, the man with the million, back again with another video, and I am so excited to talk about Wolfenstein II: The New Colossus. Ever since Bethesda announced the game at this past E3, it skyrocketed to my most anticipated game for the fall, and I'm happy to report back that not only did this game match my expectations, it far exceeded them. Yes! It was everything I wanted in a sequel to The New Order and more, and we're going to talk about why that is the case. Now, I'm just going to say out here that the clips I'm showing in the video are all from early on in the game, and I'm not going to spoil anything, especially late game spoilers. I'm going to talk about how the story's set up and some of the things that BJ goes through in kind of a vague way, but I'm not going to spoil anything for you guys because this is a game that I want you to experience yourself, because some things happen in this game that I wasn't expecting, and that's why it made the game even more enjoyable for myself. The new Colossus' story begins right where the New Order's left off. BJ had just given the signal to shoot the nuke, but his friends had to save him. They come back and try to put him together, and as BJ's fighting for his life, he has these flashbacks to his childhood with his mother and his, well, asshole of a father. Clearly two important figures in BJ's life, and I'm going to talk about that stuff a little bit later. 5 months essentially passed. The Nazis have caught up to BJ. They attack his boat, and they're looking for him. Engel, the woman Nazi captain that was one of the main kind of antagonists from the last game, she's the primary antagonist in this game. She's been trying to move heaven and earth to find BJ, and she finally has. So BJ wakes up. He can't even walk, so he gets in his wheelchair, and that's where the Nazi killing begins and the story starts. Now, the gameplay is pretty much identical to the New Order. So if you've played the New Order, you know exactly what to expect here. You have a lot of different guns and ways to dispatch the Nazis in any way you choose, whether it's getting up close and personal with the hatchet while chopping off their legs, or splitting their faces with the axe, or using a silenced pistol to go around popping Nazis in the head while you remain undetected, or my personal favorite, dual wielding those two awesome shotguns and just blowing Nazis away. Either way, it's your choice. However you want to play the game is how you want to play it. So the combat scenarios are pretty varied. You usually come to an area, and there's a lot of different tactical options you can take. If you want to take the stealth approach, go for it. There's usually a commander in the area, and it'll tell you how far away he is, and if somebody spots you or gunshots are heard, he'll call in for reinforcements. So normally it's a pretty good idea to go kill him first, right? So you can stealth, kill him first, and then kill the rest. Or you can just go in, run and gun, guns blazing. Although that is not really advised on the harder difficulties, because there are 6 difficulties here to choose from, all ranging from easy to medium settings, a hard setting, a very hard setting, and an ultra hard setting. So there's a lot of different ways you can play, and even later on in the game, you get these upgrades for BJ that even allow you to do even more stealth stuff or more tactical stuff. I really appreciated the ability to attack a scenario from many different ways, whether it's by trying to flank the Nazis by stealthing them or finding a different passage through a grate or stuff like that. I really, really did, because I kind of looked at each scenario as its own constructed playset, where I would be like, okay, there's a Nazi over in that corner, and I want to take this stuff out. I would use my throwing hatchet and pick him off from a distance. Although nothing really feels as good as walking into a room with dual-wielding shotguns and just laying waste to everything that is there. Now, I will say, though, that there is a little bit of repetitive nature to how this all kind of plays out. You enter an area and there'll be 2 commanders or a commander, and you'll go forward and kill them, and then it kind of repeats itself a little bit too much for my liking. I did notice it, and I just wanted to kind of point that out as, you know, as much as I really enjoyed this game, it does have some flaws in it. Now, what else can you do in the game besides kill Nazis throughout the levels and get a taste of that interesting and really, really good stories? Well, there's collectibles to collect, and they don't really do much. I mean, they'll tell you the backstory of what is going on in this alternate history world where the Nazis have won, you know, World War II, and the United States of America has surrendered to the leadership, and they basically run the country with the KKK kind of running the South. Some of it's interesting, some of it is not, and it's scattered all over the place. There's really no other reasons to collect them. They got like gold and concept art, just things to kind of make you go back and replay certain levels to maybe find them and extend the playtime. I tried to find as many as I could, but there are over like 250 of them. So there are quite a lot. There's also, you know, ammo and armor and health scattered everywhere, because this game is actually quite difficult, even on the default setting. I moved it up one, played around with it, and I found myself getting killed more often than I would like, mainly because I felt like the hit detection or of you getting shot wasn't that good. Like, I wasn't sure like where I was taking damage from or how much I was taking damage from. So I can only imagine what the game's like on the hardest difficulty. It's a pretty difficult game, and although they give you the option to stealth or go in guns blazing, stealth really isn't that much of an option either, because you can't see their cones of vision. You have no idea how far they can see, and it seems like if they just see like your elbow sticking out from the side of a car, the commander will get alerted and an infinite number of enemies will start spawning. There are also weapon upgrade kits you can find scattered across the levels that you can apply to any of the weapons. Each weapon has like 3 slots that you can give maybe a suppressor to your pistol, your SMG, or a scope for your assault rifle, or the ability to shoot 3 shotgun cells at once. So you gotta thoroughly check out all the areas so you can power up your weapons so you can go kill the Nazis. Now, performance-wise, I did notice, you know, some frame rate drops, but not too bad. And not too concerning. I still think the game, you know, plays extremely well. The guns sound great and they feel great to shoot. Although my biggest complaint with performance would have to be when you actually end the level and you hold X to end the level. The transition from gameplay to cutscene really just, it freezes the console. Like, it'll sit there for 2 seconds before it'll actually do something. That kind of got a little jarring at first, and it really kind of disappointed me the more I played it, because it happened every time the game would switch from gameplay to cutscene. So maybe that's alleviated a little bit on the PC or the PlayStation or the Xbox One X. This is something I noticed. And yeah, I know it probably sounds like I'm nitpicking a couple areas, but now we're going to get into what I consider Wolfenstein's strongest point, and that is its story, its characters, and the voice acting they do. My God, it is absolutely incredible. I was expecting a good story, but what I got was an amazing story. I was expecting decent voice acting, but I got top tier voice acting, not only from BJ, whose internal monologue is just perfect throughout. In the beginning, he's weary. He doesn't want to do this anymore. He wants to give up, but then it changes, and he wants to fight. He wants to live, you know, because he has twins coming with Anya. And I love BJ and Anya's relationship. I love that he's fighting for her and she's fighting for him. It is so real, and I liked seeing that change. And all the supporting characters, Wyatt, who's doing the LSD trip, was absolutely hilarious every time he got a scene. To Grace, you know, the black leader, basically, of the whole group. Everybody. You know, even the aliens, man! You know what I'm talking about when you meet that character. It was the aliens! So good voice acting. With such a great story. Yeah, and crazy stuff just happens in this game, too. Utterly ridiculous scenarios and things happen from one moment to the next, and then it gets deadly serious. And it all has to do with BJ's past, and his father and his mother, and that kind of stunned me, because I wasn't expecting to learn about why BJ is the way he is, and the stuff with his father and his mother really affected me, and has now really made BJ Blazkowicz, you know, the main protagonist in Wolfenstein, is probably now my favorite protagonist in any first-person shooter. There are depths to his character, layers that I really didn't even know he had until this game. The story is just that compelling. The more I would play, I'm like, I need to see the conclusion. I want to see how they ignite this revolution in America. You know, see how they convince other Americans to overthrow the Nazis. And boy, I was in for a treat. It is absolutely amazing game, and I can't wait to play it on the Xbox One X when that one gets enhanced. Now, good luck to all you achievement and trophy hunters out there who want that platinum, because they did include achievement and a trophy for Mein Leben difficulty, which, well, requires you to beat the game on the hardest difficulty without dying and in one sitting. So good luck to anybody who does beat that achievement. You are basically a god at Wolfenstein, because I couldn't imagine going through the game, this 12-hour game on the hardest difficulty, without being able to stop, and if you die once, it's over. So the Platinum and the 1000 are going to be extremely rare. So that's why, all these things taken together, I'm giving this game a 9.5. A 9.5. It's one of my favorite games of the year. And yeah, I did mention the negatives before. I felt the commander kind of repetition started to wear on me. Some of the performance issues were hit and miss. I felt the game was more geared towards the run and gun and not the stealth sections. But the story, the gameplay, the characters, the voice acting, the way the game looks, that all overshadowed those small nitpicks. And I wholeheartedly recommend that if you enjoy first-person shooters, if you enjoy games with fantastic stories, if you really liked Wolfenstein: The New Order, you owe yourself to pick this game up, whether it's at full price or whether it's on sale at the end of the year, and tell these publishers, yeah, we still want single-player games, because that is the way it is. You know, this game is a single-player game. There's no microtransactions. There's no loot boxes. It is a linear shooter, although kind of open, but still a linear shooter. And yeah, there are some missions you can do after the campaign that are kind of tacked on. You can revisit areas and kill and assassinate some of the leaders, but that is, I did a few of those. They're completely worthless in my opinion, so you can add that into the pile of a little bit of negatives. But all the positives just completely outweigh the negatives for me. Give it a 9.5. And boy, I can't wait to kind of go over my Game of the Year candidates for this year. Where is Wolfenstein II: The New Colossus gonna end up? Ooh, probably top 5, maybe number 1. But man, I love this game, guys. I can't recommend it enough. And I hope you enjoyed this review. So if you did enjoy this review, make sure you hit that like button, share it out with all your friends on social media, subscribe to the channel if you are new or haven't already. Make sure you hit that notification bell so you're always notified when I drop new videos. Thank you guys for taking the time out of your day to watch this review. I really do appreciate it. Hope everybody has a good rest of the day, and I'll see you in the next video. Later, guys.